Heeking here, bringing you a new theory video for RE9. Before I start, remember to like and subscribe, guys. And yeah, let's just get into it very quickly. So first up, no RE9 at State of Play. Yep, kind of to be expected. You know, Capcom clearly doesn't have the marketing deal with Sony anymore. That pretty much confirms it expired. So yeah, I think we could expect something tomorrow. By the time of recording of this, of course, it's the 26th, so there'll probably be something tomorrow on the 27th, and of course on the 28th, which means I gotta wake up at a certain time to watch these things. I'm probably gonna most likely wake up late to watch the one for tomorrow, but the one on the 28th is like in the morning here, so that means I'd have to wake up very early, watch that, edit it if I can, then go to work. So that's gonna be very, very, very painful and annoying to do, but I'll try, because I do want to avoid spoilers. I want to watch and be surprised, you know, but we'll see how it goes. For this information, this is related to the note. If you guys remember this, there was that note from the demo, right, that we got, that someone took and translated. I believe it was Starlight. And yeah, this wasn't very accurate. This was her, what do you call it? Her interpretation of what she remembered, right? This was as close as she could get to what she remembered from playing the demo. Well, thankfully, we've got the actual note now. So from Biohazard France, of all people, so they played the demo and they were able to record that snippet and actually get the actual note. So now we know what the actual note says, and here it is. Special directive for Raccoon City. And yeah, you can see. I think that's just Biohazard France's logo in the background. I think so. I don't think it's the actual. Because for a second I was like, wait a minute, like no, that's the logo behind it. But no, to White House Chief of Staff, blank, from blank, security clearance level 9, top secret. There has been blank in Raccoon City. If blank is leaked, blank, for sake of E blank. The truth blank, blank duty blank, protocol blank. A lot of blanks there. But yeah, let's compare this to the first interpretation that we got. So as you can see, there is no White House written there, right? And yeah, the raccoon part is correct for the most part. Immediate, no immediate there, no leak there. For the sake of remember, no remember there. So yeah, this was pretty inaccurate. This part is correct, like the protocol part at the bottom, this beginning part with Raccoon City, but the middle stuff is inaccurate, and obviously it's missing the White House part. You know, you still got to get props for Starlight for remembering at least half of it. So, but yeah, you know, no normal person is gonna be able to memorize all of this completely and get it right. Do you know what I mean? But now we got the actual one, and now we can try and figure out what this means. So first up, this note is clearly addressed to the White House. So this isn't like to someone working in the Rhodes Hill Civic Center. It's not to like Umbrella or whatever. No, this is to the White House, to White House Chief of Staff. Now, who could it be written to? Is this, and this is another thing you gotta keep in mind, is this letter, you know, being presented to someone at present time, or is this a letter from a few years ago? Why? Because here's the thing, right? Who's this letter written by? Is this written by the people at the Rhodes Hill Center, or is this written by someone who left this note there? As you guys remember, Dusk Golem apparently said that Leon's section of the game takes place mostly in 2020, right? And then Grace's stuff takes place mostly in 2028. So there's going to be an 8-year time jump, 8-year gap between the two stories. Leon is still going to be in present timeline as well. He is going to show up in 2028, but apparently the 2028 segment are going to be smaller. The same way that Grace's segments in 2020 are going to be smaller. So it's going to be sort of like a big reversal thing. So it's got me thinking. Especially when you got the Raccoon City part here and you got the White House stuff here. So I'm wondering, is this potentially a note from Leon? And is this note from 8 years ago? Is this a note that Grace finds, and this is a note from Leon from 8 years ago? Because if what Dusk is saying is true, we're going to be playing as Leon 8 years before these events. Does he go to Raccoon City? does he find out some big secret? And he writes this note to the Chief of Staff to the White House, but it doesn't get through. Is this part here at the very end meant to stand for the BSAA protocol? Is that what it means? Because if Leon's section does take place in 2020, right? We know from RE8, which takes place in 2021, that the BSA are corrupt. So it could be very possible that Leon tried to send this, it didn't get through. And if it did get through, the White House didn't send any help. The BSA didn't come to help because they're corrupt and they're probably working with the White House and the US government. So no one came to help and Leon was stuck there. And something happened to him. And now Leon's either... No, we know he's alive. We know he's alive because apparently Dust said we will play as him in the year 2028 section as well. So something happened to him. What could have realistically happened to him? I'm going to say he's been captured. He's been captured and he's going to be kept prisoner for like 8 years. And he's going to be used for experiments. I don't think he's going to mutate or anything. Maybe he will. Maybe the guy, like I said, maybe the guy we see in the trailer at one point with the burnt arm is actually Leon. Again, guys, remember, one of the original concepts for Resident Evil 3.5 was that Leon's arm gets infected. So maybe going back to that idea, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, food for thought. Because again, people keep saying that Capcom doesn't like to Capcom loves to renew unused ideas. They've been renewing unused ideas for every single of their games since day one. Okay? Point in case, Resident Evil 1 was originally an action co-op first-person game. We ended up getting co-op with RE5, we ended up getting first-person, technically first with Gun Survivor, and then they went back to it with Dead Aim, and then obviously they kept using it here and there, a little bit here and there, the other Gun Survivor games, but then they used it mainly with RE7 when they went fully into it. And of course, there's other ideas as well, like Dino Crisis 2 uses some ideas from the unused versions of Resident Evil 2. In this case, Resident Evil 1.5, like with the armor, wearing the armor clothes. Those were from Resident Evil 1.5, actually, so they reused that. Devil May Cry and Hunting Grounds are original prototypes for Resident Evil 3.5 that got turned into their own games. So, and most of Resident Evil 6, believe it or not, if you have the RE5 art book, which contains a list of all the deleted concepts, if you have that, you'll notice they used a lot of those deleted concepts for Resident Evil 6. Majority of the set pieces in Resident Evil 6 are unused set pieces from Resident Evil 5. Do I need to go on? I can make more examples, because there's a lot of people who are like, they don't do that. They do. They fucking do. Pardon the French. They do a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and they renew some of these unused ideas for Resident Evil 9. But yeah, going back to this, if this is a note from Leon, this could be a note from him from 8 years ago. He sent it, no one came to help, and he basically got screwed. And now we're gonna play as Grace, and we're gonna find Leon, and we're gonna rescue him at some point. And then at some point, the stories are obviously gonna like converge, and we're gonna swap around playing as Leon and that. I don't know, this is all speculation on my part because I'm trying to figure this out. The other potential thing about this note could be that it's not from Leon, but it's from someone inside the center that's reporting to the White House, which means, again, the US government is involved in all of this crap. Which goes with the theory again. One of my theories is that Umbrella wasn't the one that leaked the virus, it was the US government. They wanted the virus to leak from the get-go. They wanted Raccoon City infected for their own experiments, and they put all the blame on Umbrella. And ironically, Umbrella had nothing to do with it. Like, that wasn't even their get-go. They never planned for this to happen. It was an accident. But the government were the ones like, nah, we want this virus to leak. We want our little area to field test our bioweapons and do our little combat there, maybe. Again, speculation on my part. I don't know. But, yeah. That's pretty much all I got. That's my theories on this. Obviously, we won't know more until we get more information on this game, we get some trailers, but for now, this is all I got. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, remember to like and subscribe, and I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and